This is the real deal. We're doing a quick little dive on the Barracuda. You know things are getting real right now.
Yeah, they are. Well, it means that we're generating a little interest. So I love seeing it. I'm excited to do it.
All right, so let's talk about what this Barracuda Championship is. So this is the opposite field event of the WGC this week. You might remember friend of the pod, Colin Morikawa, taking this bad boy down last year. And the big thing, Greg, it's the scoring. It's modified Stableford. So you actually get positive points based on birdies and eagles. It's not a stroke play match, right?
Yeah, somebody's 21 plus 21. That's a good thing. That means they're probably near the top of the leaderboard. If you see somebody that's under par, not so good.
Not so good at all. Additionally, if you want to wrap your head around it, it is very similar to DraftKings scoring. Actually, what we've kind of been saying for years in the industry is like, this should be the DraftKings Open, and they should just use DraftKings scoring for it because it's essentially the same or very similar, and it really rewards birdie makers. It rewards guys that are willing to take on risks, try to get home in 2 on par 5s because, making a birdie or making an eagle is a much more valuable thing than making a bogey, quite frankly. There's not as much of a disincentive, if you will.
Right. I totally agree. It's a great point. So who are the birdie makers?
Well, this field, when you look at it, is quite interesting, let me tell you. Russell Henley is the favorite. Brendan Steele is here. Ryan Moore is also here. But I've got one guy in particular that I'm most interested in, and I think it's Brandon Grace for me, Greg. And I'll tell you why. No offense to the rest of these guys, but when you get an opposite field event like this, I want class players. And Brandon Grace is a class player who has he's seen it all, right? He's got the lowest round ever in a major. Like, the guy can absolutely go low. He is a seasoned vet. This is not a big stage, but there is nothing that he will encounter this week that will be out of kind of over his head. So for me, I think Brandon Grace is very interesting. He's like 50-1 to win this golf tournament, 55-1. It's kind of unbelievable that he could be that good long term and have these odds on him.
Yeah, he really has put together a great career. So I love the pick, Rick. It's very well done. And I tend to agree with you. I'm looking for a class player as well. The guy I have is, I believe, on the comeback trail, and it's Alex Noren. Alex Noren, we just saw him come in tied third last week, but you forget about all the other events. Forget about his statistics. Forget about all that. In 2018, this guy was the anchor match for the winning European Ryder Cup team. This guy has class, and just like Brendan Grace, he's not going to be afraid of any situation that happens out there. He looks to have a consistent shot shape going, and he looks to have the putter rolling. And in a format like this where you got to make birdies, I don't care how well you hit it, you have to make putts, and Alex Noren can do just that.
Do you remember when he was like the number 10 player in the world?
Yes. It was 2018. I was going
to say, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. He's a stud.
Yeah, he's playing much better recently. I want to get one fade from each of us. So we're trying to figure out, what to fade for this week. I look at last week for a lot of things to be able to fade. And I'm actually fading your guy, Greg. I'm fading Richie Werenski, who had a very hot putter last week. He also, had a little bit of the Sundays, right? He was like, oh, this is a big spot. Might be hard to break through. That probably drains you, right? I don't want to speak for any PGA Tour player, but when you get that close and you're thinking about it all night long and you can't fall asleep and now you got to go and play the Barracuda, I'm a little bit worried about it. He's 28-1. He's one of the top 8 or 9 players in the field, but I'm going to take a pass. I just think it's kind of a difficult situation for him to try to back up what he did last week.
Yeah, probably an emotional thing. And although Sunday was a tough round for him, he held on strong and still got a T3, but it was due to the putter, right? He gets a putt to lip in early on the front 9, hold a couple of great putts on the second 9. So yeah, an impressive, I was actually impressed as much as he struggled on Sunday. It impressed me, but this week, maybe not feeling it quite as much. The fade for me, I think this is kind of a trap, is Aaron Wise. Aaron Wise is a guy we think of as having all this great win equity, but he's really put together 1 week. And aside from that, I mean, it's been, if he makes a cut, you're looking at a top tied 46 finish. He did have a tied third at the Bermuda Championship, but that is it on the season. Nothing else inside the top 46. So I think he's a little bit of a trap this week, and it may be an attractive one because you recognize the name because he won, but I don't think his game is really in good form.
Real quick, I mean, this is such an interesting field because you get guy like Sebastian Munoz is a 100-1 this week. He's 100-1. He was probably 100-1 in his last PGA Tour event where there was like 30 of the top 50 players in it.
Yeah, I mean, he was at the top of the FedEx Cup leaderboard for a while, right? He's still, I think, in the top 20. So I love Sebastian Munoz this week.
This is crazy. Nick Watney, 75-1. I mean, it is a very interesting field, and I don't know how much coverage we'll get of this. They'll show this, right?
Yeah, they'll definitely show it. It'll be on Golf Channel over the weekend. You'll see it. Stick around after the coverage of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, and you're very likely to see some great golf at the Barracuda.
There you go. Good golf at the Barracuda coming your way. If you like this type of episode, little bite-sized, little something, let us know. Give us some love, like it, shout it out so that we can do more of this. I want to thank Greg Ducharme. You can find him on Twitter at TheRealGFD. You can find me on Twitter at RickRunGood. This has been your bonus episode of The First Cut, and we'll catch you next time.